Computer. Okay, so welcome to the Forge Coffee Break. This is the episode number 52, and welcome. Thank you for joining. As usual, this is a very open space for no general topic, general questions that you have, and no coffee at the kitchen. What are the projects you are working with? What are the ideas you have? Anything you'd like to bring up? There is a chance. So let me hand over to you if you have any questions or topics that you want to bring up. Let's see if I have any new names here.
I saw the Peter is here.
Yes, he's back from vacation.
Yes.
He's back from vacation.
Hi,
Peter.
welcome.
Hi. I have one question about PNG photos on viewer, because it cannot be presented in a viewer. If you put some picture on the some flat surface in the Forge, I cannot see it. I tried with Fusion and I tried with classic viewer. It cannot be presented.
So you're trying to use PNG as a texture on a CAD model?
It's not texture. It's a decal command for the pasting the picture.
Oh, okay. A decal.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, I think we do have a limited support for decals. And you said you tried Fusion?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that one should be working. I remember I actually worked on that feature, but that was like 5-6 years ago. We had a request for decals, so we actually modified the viewer to add support for additional channels, so that apart from the standard UV coordinates that you can have on a mesh to add a regular texture, you could also have additional UV channels or texture coordinate channels to control position of additional textures like decals. But again, it's been a while, so I need to check. So maybe you could, if you have a sample file that you could share with us.
What you're trying to do, Najelko? Yeah, what you're trying to do?
It doesn't work for Revit and it doesn't work for Inventor either. So the translation will ignore those. It only works for Fusion 360 models, the decal, because of the material libraries are different. So the Prism is working fine, the other ones are not.
It's possible that this is all limited to Prism, yeah. But Nadelko mentioned that he's not able to get the decals showing up even for Fusion models.
I can share my screen. You will see. It is not.
Yeah, sure. I think ultimately we'll probably need to, debug it on our end with the model derivative service team to see if. But check the two things, right? First of all, make sure that the SVF generated from your Fusion file is actually that it actually contains the additional UV channels for the decals. And second, we need to make sure, double check with the viewer team to make sure that these additional UV channels are interpreted properly by the viewer.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. And also we have a question from someone in the chat.
Yeah, Edgar. Yeah, you said you have two things.
Hey guys, afternoon. A quick one from my side. Let me share my screen quickly. Share screen. This one. So I'm migrating, for those who have followed me sort of on this call as well, I'm migrating from US to EU servers because of a client requirement. And the API endpoints aren't the same between BIM 360 and ACC. So I was wondering, does this have an effect on what I will be able to do with the tools? So for instance, is my screen sharing? Yeah, no.
Not yet.
Sorry.
Now it's coming.
Yeah, now it's coming. It's still on the blue bit. So this is already the EU server, right? So I've done all the grabbing with Python. But these are all BIM 360 account or projects, and this is a proper ACC account. Now, I don't know what the difficulty will be further down the line. So would I be able to talk to HoloBuilder in both the BIM 360 and the ACC situation.
So when you say talk to HoloBuilder, what do you mean? Use a plugin from HoloBuilder?
Yeah. So the plans. So when you're in HoloBuilder, you can say, "Hey, here are all my plans," and
yeah,
you can connect the two. And one of the reasons for us to migrate, besides client requirements, is that our HoloBuilder is on EU servers, and HoloBuilder can only connect EU to EU or US to US. There is no cross-linking possible. So that was another reason for us to do the migration. But when I was migrating, when I look at the documentation, you cannot create projects with the ACC API endpoints. You can with the BIM 360. And it gets a nice BIM 360 logo. But I don't know if there's anything in the background that might or might not work as intended.
Okay, so let me break down two pieces, right? So in this case, the account is just the account, right? The account holds the projects, and
Yes.
each project can be BIM 360 or ACC, right? So you see the icons there. So the APIs are indeed different. More specifically, the APIs to create issues. Some of those APIs are different. If you look at the documentation, you see that this API is compatible with both, or this is not compatible with ACC. Right? So in those cases, you have different APIs for BIM 360 and ACC. Right.
Correct.
Now, one of the big ones is the data management, right? How to read and write, upload and download files. So that API is the same, so it doesn't change. Okay. Now, about HoloBuilder, right? You probably need to ask them if there will be any difference there.
Okay. Yeah, we will test it. But when I was doing this, I was making them. I do keep an eye on this is compatible, yes or no. But one of my colleagues said, "Hey, you've migrated the project successfully, but I'm now seeing all these icons. What is happening in the background?" So okay.
So yeah, if the icon is a B, it's a BIM 360 project. If that's a circle, then it's a ACC.
As an ACC, yeah. That's the bit I do understand already. So no, okay. I'll have a further look down the line also with HoloBuilder, see what's possible, and see if I coloring within the lines of the API. Yeah. Other question we had that was raised today in a call, and I don't have to share for that is can you merge multiple IFCs in the collaboration component? Because what we want to do is we want to only make BCF files based on a federated model. So if you have like an architecture structure MEP model all in one, it doesn't make sense that you can only export from the MEP model BCF issues, because the BIM collaboration format is, I think, intended to communicate with all of the stakeholders what's wrong in the entirety of the design, not just in an aspect model. But we're finding it not possible to merge all these IFCs.
So you are asking if you could use BIM 360, what's the name? Collaboration, right? Yeah, collaboration with IFC files.
Yes, but then the federation aspect of IFCs, how you would do it in Navisworks, you would just put them all in one big Navisworks file, and then you start figuring out, do I have issues?
Yeah. So I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that the design collaboration feature in BIM 360 it's the old C4R in Revit, right? That allows. Yes. So that feature is a Revit feature, right? Meaning that as soon as you open in Revit, it becomes a Revit file. Then it's uploaded as a Revit file.
That's good to know, because I was thinking something different. Okay, then it's probably not possible, I would say, because in Revit you cannot do that either. It's not a Navisworks component.
Yeah. Now there is another thing that is model coordination module in BIM 360 that allow you to put models together, right? So that's not related to Revit. Is a separate feature that in BIM 360 or ACC that allows you to combine model and check for clashes. Isn't that what you're looking for, or I don't know? I'm guessing.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'll double check that.
Yeah, try the model coordination BIM 360 module, which is not related to design collaboration. So it's a different module, right?
We started looking into that, and there's some very nice features. Although the setup takes a bit of time, because unless you're working on a model that is combined of all disciplines, you want to check. You need to set up certain views in the different models, and then you actually compare the views. Well, the nice thing about it is that the result comes up as a matrix of how many clashes you have between two different models.
I've seen that.
And that's and then you click and it goes into those clashes, and that's fantastic. We've just started to look into that, and one of the guys over here showed it, and it's really impressive.
Powerful. It's pretty powerful. I quite like it.
Yeah. Sorry, do you work together, Edgar and Jonathan?
Say again? Do
you, Edgar and Jonathan, work together?
No,
I don't.
Okay, interesting.
But I've tested that clash matrix in the past. I quite like it. Can talk on and on for that on how to also incorporate in this clash resolution or clash avoidance strategy. One question, if you permit me, is that can all these let's say topics or menus be renamed in the viewer?
What topics?
These custom attributes, can I say I'm not interested in anything related to the item or the element ID and write the own viewer and say take them out? Or is it compulsory to have that in?
Yeah, so this is the ACC product, right? So inside the product, the only way to change what you see on the property panel is to remove those properties before you translate, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you have a custom viewer, if you create your own application that is bringing the models, then you can override this panel and remove what you don't want and add more if you want.
Yep, that's how I understood it from you in the past. Okay, thanks for confirming that. Yep.
And I think there is a blog about that. But I think Sergey raised hand, right?
Yeah, I'm just curious if it is the right place to ask a question. And then I want to say hi to everyone. This is the first time I interact with the Forge team. Thank you. We got into the accelerator and we missed the first day. So I imagine this is the second chance for us to kind of ask questions. So my biggest challenge so far with, and let me give you a bit of a background. We are building a software product. If you ever used applications like Notion or Asana in the past, we're trying to do that with BIM support. And the BIM modular is powered by Forge, obviously. And one of the questions we had was about ACC kind of developer licenses. So we have reached out to someone on the Forge team and we got a license for 15 days or something. And then we kind of needed to renew it every 2 weeks. So my question is there a way to get a permanent license as a developer?
Definitely. So who you were talking with?
I have submitted a form on the website.
Yeah, so send that to forge.help@autodesk.com.
Okay, forge.help@autodesk.com.
Yeah, and we just need the client ID, the hub ID or the email of the account admin of the hub.
Okay.
Either the account admin email or the account ID. Yeah, and then we can make that. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I also have my co-founder on the line. Is this what we submitted the last time we did it?
I think it is. Yeah. We've talked to someone by the name of Ren Castro. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's not on our team. So probably someone from product support that they sometimes handle those things. But so in general, and that's a suggestion for you, everything that is Forge or API related, go to forge.help@autodesk.com and we will help you.
Sounds good.
The product team will help with the product, right? So if you want to do something on the product, how to do something on the product. But if you're talking about the API, the Forge support is best. So you can also go to forge.autodesk.com. There is a get help menu. Will be the same thing. So, but the email works the same way. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. So we can get is this a 1-year ACC license or?
I will make a request to know if you're doing a development, right?
Yeah,
we make it year based, so 1 year, and then if you still need it, we can renew it.
Yeah,
but just remember there is a developer license for you to test your application. And
this is exactly what we need. We have no intent of using it on projects because we don't do projects.
All right, sounds good. Are you joining this week accelerator?
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, cool.
So what I have added the Google Calendar to.
You probably have an invite
to source events.
You probably have an invite to Slack that is specific to that event. So the accelerator, it's one thing, right? It goes on for this week. And this coffee break today, it's a bi-weekly that runs for 2 years
forever.
now. So
nice.
bi-weekly, you can just join here and, random topics.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. I don't want to abuse the time, but can I ask one more question or what's the order here? So we had a quick question about markups. So you know how when you upload a Navisworks file to Forge, for example, it doesn't preserve markups on the viewpoints. And we are now trying to build like a workaround almost. We would read Navisworks markup and then convert it to SVG markup, and then kind of place this SVG image on top of the screen grab we take from Forge.
Not exactly. We use like implementing custom markups, which is a part of Forge Viewer. It's a plugin. I think what it was.
So like this
custom plugin. Yeah.
We are just curious if there is like a better way of doing this. Is there a way to so does Forge support markups somehow that we are not aware of? So
and you're trying to get the markups from Navis into your project, right? So that's the
okay. Navisworks viewpoints to be specific.
So what we do right now, we just parse the XML file export from Navisworks, then we randomly recalculate that to the Forge Viewer screen presentation and just place it on. But then we have a problem exporting those markups because they do not render on the canvas. And there is an issue on the Stack Overflow, which was replied by Peter Brass in January. Still haven't
always him.
yeah. But like a special thanks to Peter, like a lot of materials online. Yeah, just great job.
Cool.
Yeah, appreciate it, Peter.
Yeah. There is a markup extension, right? And it does allow you to do SVF markups. But you would have to recreate the markup in the viewer.
Recreate. There's no better option.
No.
Yeah.
Because the viewer will not extract those things, right? Am I getting this right?
Yeah. It doesn't get extracted not by the viewer, but the
translation process.
Translation processor, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any plans to support it in the future?
I don't know. I haven't heard of markup functionality in Navisworks, to be honest with you. So I'm not sure if this is anything that's on the roadmap.
Yeah.
Okay. It just I used to work on a GC side as a VDC coordinator, and markup, like everyone does markups in Navisworks. It's such a popular kind of workflow. I was fascinated by the fact that Forge doesn't support it because it's such an obvious thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a feedback for you potentially.
we can definitely log something to have that implemented if there is no demand for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying that you work as a GC, right?
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah. So the workflow is like GCs. Okay. So let me take a step back. If GC is using Navisworks and they are using viewpoints to coordinate issues, 100% they do markups on top of those viewpoints. So they would like bubble certain things in Navisworks, or like add arrows or add texts. And then when this model is uploaded to ACC, I'm not sure what exactly happens because I haven't used ACC a lot. But when you upload this model to Forge and you open that viewpoint in Forge, there's not going to be any markup. But it kind of seems logical to support it because a lot of viewpoints, they come with markups.
Yeah. So the viewer in BIM 360 and the viewer that you translated are the same translator, right? So there is no difference there.
No difference.
So yeah, so it'll be the same. But yeah, I'm curious now that maybe some document internally that you can probably track explain why we didn't translate that. And there are usually a lot of decision points, right? When we implement something like this. So yeah,
no, of course, I totally get it.
Yeah. So let me switch gears for a moment. Complete different topic. Yeah, thank you, Sergey. Thank you. Very good point. And I remember the forge.help@autodesk.com. That's the best route. So I think last week or the week before, Elliot presented some work that he was doing and got some very good feedback. And I know that every week is a different audience. And let me hand over to him. He was going to show you again and get some ideas from you.
Hey everyone. Yeah, so we just want to give an update on progress on our Forge Viewer Playground. So now what's different is when you initially load it, and if you're not going to like a specific model, you get this introduction pop up, and now you can actually load three different models.
Maybe just replay what is this for, right? New people.
Oh yeah. So this is basically for people who want to play around with the viewer APIs, and this is basically we want to see, what you're most interested in, which model you want to load, and then what we're working on right now, we're just putting together some sample code. So the code here on the left will change based on what you select here, and we're still putting this together. And it's very much an alpha, but we're hoping by next time during coffee break, we have a link hopefully that we can send to everyone.
So this is a playground like CodePen, but very focused to the viewer, right? So on the left, you see viewer related code that you can experiment. So in this case, there is a car seat, right? So if you change something on the left and reload, say change the preset and reload, you can quickly experiment with some code settings, properties, and very much like CodePen or other playgrounds that we have out there. To try something that is not working. So I think the question for you is if you would be using something like this, and if you have any suggestions for us, or where you would believe you'll be using something like this. Experimenting with the viewer. I think last week someone mentioned about the playing with IFC selection filter, right? Eventually you'll be able to load your own models as well.
Yeah, was me. I would definitely want to play with it, Edgar, here.
Yeah.
I think it makes a lot of sense too, because we would normally test it inside of the console in Chrome, which is not the best. Like it.
Yeah, Suresh here. So basically, what we are doing is we are currently experimenting Forge Viewer, wherein we are importing our model into one of the window and basically linking that with the asset data for operation and maintenance purpose. What my issue is, we do see a lot of properties which should not be visible. Can I remove that via these codes and all that?
You can always remove properties, but that's a good thing, a good idea, right? A simple code showing how to remove properties. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, this thing here is a playground, so where you can play with your code and experiment, right? But later, if you wanna have, let's say you have a library of codes that you use, you can just open that library and load that code and run it and see the results really fast.
Okay,
interesting.
okay. I will try, yeah.
Cool. It's still under development. I see localhost, but soon will be available.
Does this thing support syntax highlight on the left panel when you type the code?
Yeah, it does have syntax highlighting.
Okay.
What are you using there for the
IntelliSense, or stuff? So auto completion, right?
That's on the roadmap. Definitely we want to add like IntelliSense features. So
I think it's easy. You can just use like Microsoft Monaco editor, which is under the VS Code, like the text engine that they use. It's open source. You can look into that.
Yeah, this is something we've thought about. We do have TypeScript definitions for the viewer, so it should be doable, bringing IntelliSense, like viewer specific IntelliSense.
Yeah.
I think that'd be quite helpful. Yeah.
Which editor are you using? I keep forgetting.
This is based on something called Monaco.
Monaco. That's the one that Boris was talking about then. Okay.
Or sorry, no, this is actually that was what we were going to use. This is actually something called Code Mirror.
Okay.
But yeah, I can add. I'm still. I looked it up. I can add those TypeScript definitions. So just that's on the roadmap.
Cool. Thank you, Elliot. Very nice work. Almost getting there.
Yep.
Real quick question on that. Is that like a .NET Interactive? Meaning, is that like C# only, or is that also like Node.js style of things as well?
So what you see here is just client side. So that's just a JavaScript client side version, right? So eventually, you see on the top right there is an export button, right? And it's on our roadmap, and the button is there for us, so we remember. So I can show you. Eventually, you'll be able to click on export and get the code you typed here with the equivalent server-side code to run it. And the server-side code will be node.net. Make sense?
Yeah, I said that backwards. Sorry. I mean, that's Node, not C#. But yes, that makes sense. So is there a plan though to do both as far as like?
Yeah, Node and .NET first for sure. But that will be the export feature, right? Because what you see here on the screen right now, that's only the client side. There is no server side node. There's just JavaScript for the client.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you say, I'm sorry, I might have missed it, but did you say that you will make it so that we can upload a different model?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So we're trying to get the first version where we have those three predefined modules. But later you'll be able to load your own models, because we know, right? You want to play with your own data.
Yeah,
it's much better, right?
No, it's great for us lazy guys who don't want to write all the surrounding code to actually try little things. So that's great.
Mm-hmm. That's the idea. Yeah, thank you, Milton. And with that, we are just on time. Let me share again. And as usual, the next coffee break will be on the same link, same time in 2 weeks, August 10th. And that's it. Thank you very much for joining today. See you in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.